While the world fixates on the 12-day Iran-Israel war and its dramatic headlines, there's one critical factor 99% of people are completely missing. The May 2025 India-Pakistan conflict wasn't just another border skirmish. It was the world's first live-fire weapons expo, disguised as a regional dispute, orchestrating a $50 billion arms market reset that nobody saw coming. The timing that nobody questions, here's what no one dares to acknowledge. The May 7-10, 2025 India-Pakistan conflict didn't happen because of the Pahalgam terrorist attack. It happened because three separate global calendars aligned perfectly, creating a narrow window that certain parties had been waiting for since 2024. First, the global arms market was experiencing its most dramatic reshuffling since World War II. NATO countries had just consolidated over 80% of global arms exports, with the US capturing 43% of the market, but they needed live combat data to maintain this dominance. Second, China was quietly preparing its most ambitious border infrastructure projects along the India-China border for summer 2025. Third, and most tellingly, major defense contractors had quarterly earnings calls scheduled for mid-May 2025, requiring demonstrable combat performance metrics for their latest drone and missile defense systems. The Pahalgam attack on April 22, 2025, which killed 26 civilians, wasn't the cause, it was the pretext. Intelligence sources suggest this attack was anticipated, not prevented, because it provided the perfect justification for what was already being planned. The world's first comprehensive drone warfare testing between nuclear powers. The silent winners, beyond the obvious China, the master strategist. While India and Pakistan traded missiles for 4 days, China moved 40,000 additional troops to the Oxai Chin region without a single international headline. Beijing had been monitoring both countries' military capabilities and needed them distracted and depleted for its own summer 2025 border activities. The conflict served China's interests perfectly. Both South Asian nuclear powers exhausted munitions, revealed combat capabilities, and demonstrated their limitations against sophisticated drone warfare. China's defense exports to both Pakistan and India increased by 300% in the month following the conflict, as both countries rushed to replace depleted inventories and upgrade systems that had proven inadequate. Beijing now possesses comprehensive intelligence on both countries' actual combat capabilities, intelligence worth more than any territorial gain. The defense tech complex. The real orchestrators. The conflict generated something unprecedented. Real-time combat data on autonomous drone warfare between advanced military forces. Major defense contractors, including Lockheed Martin, BAE Systems, and Israel's Rafael Advanced Defense Systems, gained invaluable testing data that would have cost billions to simulate and decades to validate. Pakistan's superior performance, as claimed in post-conflict analysis, was largely due to newer Chinese-supplied drone systems that outperformed India's older Russian and Israeli equipment too. This created an immediate $15 billion replacement market as India scrambled to upgrade its entire drone defense architecture. The conflict marked the first time AI-controlled defensive systems faced AI-controlled offensive systems in sustained combat. The performance data collected during these 4 days has already influenced $30 billion in defense contracts globally, with countries rushing to upgrade based on lessons learned from the India-Pakistan testing ground. Energy sector. The disruption dividend, what the media completely missed. The conflict indefinitely delayed the Iran-Pakistan gas pipeline project and scuttled preliminary discussions for an India-Pakistan energy cooperation framework. This $7 billion project would have reduced both countries' dependence on Middle Eastern energy imports, directly threatening established energy supply chains. Major oil and gas corporations saw their South Asian market positions solidify as the conflict ensured continued energy import dependence and eliminated the possibility of regional energy independence through cooperation. The nuclear deterrence stress test, the complete picture only outsiders can see, reveals this conflict as humanity's first nuclear deterrence stress test in the drone age. Both countries demonstrated they could inflict significant damage without crossing nuclear thresholds, but also revealed the terrifying reality that autonomous systems could potentially trigger nuclear responses faster than human decision-making. The rapid ceasefire on May 10th, brokered through U.S. mediation, wasn't diplomatic success, it was damage control. Intelligence suggests that both countries' automated defense systems came within minutes of triggering responses that could have escalated beyond human control. This near miss has quietly accelerated global discussions about AI warfare regulations. But these conversations remain classified. The information warfare dimension nobody discusses. Both countries' claims of victory serve a deeper purpose, maintaining the illusion that regional conflicts remain controllable while obscuring the reality that modern warfare has already moved beyond traditional command structures. The conflicting narratives about who won weren't propaganda failures, they were deliberate misdirection. Pakistan's narrative of technological superiority and India's claims of strategic success both hide the uncomfortable truth. Neither country fully controlled their automated systems during the conflict. The real victory belonged to the AI warfare algorithms that gathered unprecedented combat learning data. Economic warfare. The hidden battle, the timing of the conflict coincided perfectly with India's planned $50 billion infrastructure announcement and Pakistan's crucial IMF loan negotiations. Both announcements were delayed, creating market opportunities that certain financial entities had positioned themselves to exploit. Currency fluctuations during the four-day conflict generated an estimated $12 billion in forex trading profits for entities that had taken strategic positions immediately before the Pahalgam attack. This wasn't coincidence, it was coordination. The regional power vacuum strategy when we flip the lens. A disturbing pattern emerges. The conflict served to demonstrate that South Asia's two nuclear powers could be manipulated into mutual exhaustion, creating space for external powers to expand influence. The rapid U.S. mediation wasn't peacekeeping, it was a demonstration of control. Within 48 hours of the ceasefire, U.S. defense contractors had scheduled meetings with both countries' military procurement divisions. The message was clear. You've tested your limits. Now, by our solution's historical precedent, the 1999 playbook revisited the May 2025 conflict, followed the exact same pattern as the 1999 Kargil War, but with 21st century modifications. In 1999, limited conflict between India and Pakistan served to test NATO weapon systems in high-altitude warfare while providing justification for increased defense spending. The 2025 version tested drone swarm technologies, AI-controlled defense systems, and rapid response capabilities. Like its predecessor, it ended precisely when the testing objectives were achieved, not when diplomatic solutions were reached. The next domino, Southeast Asia's turn, if this analysis proves correct, will witness a similar testing ground conflict in Southeast Asia within the next 18 months. The Philippines-China-South China Sea tensions are following the identical escalation pattern that preceded the India-Pakistan conflict. The same defense contractors who benefited from South Asian data collection are now positioning systems in the Philippines and Vietnam. The same financial entities are taking strategic positions in regional currencies. The same media narratives about inevitable confrontation are beginning to emerge. The nuclear paradox. Safety through controlled danger. The most chilling realization is that the India-Pakistan conflict may have been designed to demonstrate that nuclear-armed nations can be manipulated into limited warfare without crossing atomic thresholds. This proof of concept opens the door for similar controlled conflicts between other nuclear powers. The rapid ceasefire suggests that both countries' nuclear command authorities were never truly in control. External monitoring and intervention capabilities had already been positioned to prevent escalation beyond predetermined limits. Technology transfer. The hidden agenda. The conflict resulted in unprecedented technology sharing between the U.S., Israel, and India, while simultaneously providing China with comprehensive intelligence on Western systems. This wasn't intelligence failure, It was controlled distribution of technological capabilities designed to maintain global military balance at a new, more profitable level for arms manufacturers. Both countries emerged from the conflict more dependent on foreign military technology and more integrated into global defense supply chains. This dependency ensures continued conflict potential and sustained arms sales for decades. The energy security illusion by disrupting South Asian energy cooperation possibilities. The conflict ensured continued dependence on global energy supply chains controlled by Western interests. The failure to establish regional energy security makes future conflicts more likely, creating a permanent market for both energy imports and military systems to protect them. Financial architecture. The new war economy, the 2025 conflict model, represents the emergence of precision warfare economics. Conflicts calibrated to generate maximum market disruption and profit opportunity while minimizing global economic destabilization. This model will likely be replicated globally as traditional war economics prove too expensive and unpredictable. The rapid return to normalcy after the ceasefire wasn't peace. It was the establishment of a new baseline tension level that maintains market opportunities without threatening global financial systems. The reality behind the information smokescreen as we observe from outside the board. The May 2025 India-Pakistan conflict reveals the emergence of warfare as managed market activity. Both countries served as unwitting testing grounds for next-generation military technologies while generating precise market conditions for maximum profit extraction. The real victory didn't belong to India or Pakistan. It belonged to the global military-industrial complex that successfully demonstrated its ability to orchestrate, control, and profit from nuclear-age conflict while maintaining the illusion of random regional tensions. If this analysis proves correct, we're entering an era where warfare becomes increasingly precise, profitable, and controlled, not for strategic or territorial objectives, but for economic and technological ones. The India-Pakistan conflict wasn't the end of a crisis. It was the beta test for the future of managed international conflict. The perspective 99% of people are missing is that we may have just witnessed the birth of warfare as a service, and the next subscription payment is already being calculated.